What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are going to be doing a quick Black Friday sale unboxing of a couple cars here. First off, we have the 1/16 scale FC600. This is a brushless 1/16 scale 4-wheel drive buggy. This is from Banggood. Next up, we have a WLToys 1/28 scale little drift car. This one models the Infraction. I have two other ones that I'll show you once we unbox this one as well. This one is super cool. And then we have the unlicensed Hoonigan HBX 2188A drift car. So stay tuned. Maker Fire hooked us up with some coupons on these cars. This one comes in at under 80 bucks. I believe they all come in at under 80 bucks, and with the coupon this one comes down to like $75. I'll link everything down below. First off, we have two sets of stickers for this car. Again, this is the FC600. This one mimics a lot of the Haiboxing and other 16 scale cars, but of course we'll take a look at the differences. We have a very detailed instruction manual here. So once we get it out of the box, we obviously have the car here. It's got a pretty cool paint job, and it looks like there's only one body, so I'm not sure why they gave us two sets of stickers, but we have the car right there. Inside underneath we have our remote, and we have seen this remote before, so nice little plastic remote here. Has your speed dual rate steering trim, reversals, bind mode, on and off switch, and you will need to provide your own AA batteries for that. Also inside the box we have a bunch of little accessories here. Let's see what we got. Looks like we have an additional battery. These are 1000 milliamp 2S Lipo batteries, which is super nice. We got some LEDs that we can install along with some zip ties for that. We have the rear wing. We will install that as well. And some extra body clips. There is a set of body clips on the car already. A wheelie bar, because this thing is brushless and it's going to need that wheelie bar, so we'll install that, as well as a little screwdriver there and USB charger. So we'll take a look at the car really quick. I put all the stickers on it here, and the tires have foam-filled inserts in them. They are 12mm hex tires. You have metal differentials in there, and metal dog bones front and rear. Shocks are oil-filled. This is a super awesome upgrade that this car comes with for the price. A lot of the cars that I've purchased recently do not have the oil-filled shocks, and even on the bigger ones, and it's such a letdown because it really changes the handling characteristics of the car. So this is a great budget car for under 80 bucks, and it comes ready to run. 2S Lipos. We'll take a look inside. So inside, you've seen these electronics before. We have the 2-in-1 ESC receiver combo, another 2S Lipo in there, so it comes with two, which is great. We have a micro servo in here. It's a 3-wire, so you could go ahead and upgrade that down the road if you really wanted to. And then we have this big can brushless motor. So although there's a lot of plastic on this car, there are a ton of aluminum upgrades. The center drive shaft is aluminum as well. Like I was saying before, we have oil-filled shocks that are, they have metal caps on them. The metal dog bones front and rear. Looks like we have CV type drive shafts up front. There is no adjustability on camber and toe in and toe out, but that's alright. I would definitely pick up one of these cars for under 80 bucks. They are going to go fast, and it is a super great deal. So getting a little bit smaller after the 1/16 scale, we're going to take a look at this 1/18 scale drift car from Haiboxing. This is the HBX 2188A. This thing looks absolutely awesome right out of the box, completely ready to run. Batteries, charger, remote, everything. So let's take a look. So this car came from Banggood as well. There is a link for it down below, as well as some coupons. This one comes in at under 80 bucks. I think it's about $75, and again, for a drift car of this quality, I think it's a really great option to drive indoors, outdoors. It really handles it all really well. So once again, this is a 1/18 scale drift car. This thing looks absolutely awesome. I can't say it enough. It is not officially licensed by Hoonigan or Monster or any of those brands. As you can see, they kind of have their little spin on it with the 3 stripes that looks exactly like Monster. Obviously, this is after the Hoonicorn from Hoonigan, but even though it's not licensed, this thing looks sweet, and it drifts amazing. So we're going to take a look at this at the end of the video as well. Taking off the body and the 4 body clips, we have a really cool and clean design in here. We have a lithium-ion battery that it comes with Dean's connector. We have the 2-in-1 ESC receiver combo right there. We have a tiny brushed motor up front, as well as a micro receiver again. And this thing is awesome. There's a lot of plastic components on it. The shocks are friction shocks, unfortunately, but that's okay. This thing handles great. We do have some adjustability in the toe and camber, front and rear. So that is a really good option. You could slam this thing if you wanted to. There are some different locations that you can change the shocks to, which is really nice, and really customize this car to the way you want it to handle. Drive shafts, front and rear, are plastic, but the middle drive shaft is metal. It's got a nice plastic spur in the middle and a metal pinion there. You could probably change that out if you wanted to. This little motor mount, which is really well designed, is able to move back and forth. If you look on the bottom here, the chassis is plastic, and these 2 little screws here move the motor mount back and forth. So you could put a bigger or smaller pinion on there, depending on how you want this thing to run. Now, I've run mine on 2S as well as 3S, and it handles them both really well. I wouldn't recommend 3S, but if you wanted to try it, it really livens this car up, so that's another cool option. You can change the height of the body, front and rear. These tires are like a very hard plastic. They aren't like the shiny plastic that you see in a lot of drift cars. I'll see if I can get some close-up shots for you guys of that. But this thing drifts really well on asphalt as well as hardwood floors. Body is a little one-piece design. It has the clear coat on it. You could peel that off and it'll be a lot shinier. We have the little diffuser on the back that's screwed on like so. Flimsy little body, but it holds up just fine. This car comes with LEDs, which are really cool. I'll show you that. This is the remote. You see this on a lot of the Haiboxing cars. You have your slow and fast speed modes, steering reverse if you need to do that, steering trim up in here on this little knob, little plastic wheel, and these things fit nicely in the hand. You can one-hand steer if you really needed to while you're filming, and you will need to provide your own AA batteries for the remote. We have our charger as well as these LEDs. Now, I bought 2 of these cars from Banggood when I purchased them, so I'll show you the one that I've been running. And as you can see, this thing has taken a beating just fine, though. It is a little bit dirty. The tires scuff up nicely, but it still drifts really well. I've taken this thing through puddles and dirt and all the sorts of stuff, and it keeps on running. The only issue I've had with it is that since these gears are very open, you do get small pebbles and stuff in there, and it can lock up the motor, so just be aware of that where you're driving it. And I have my LEDs on the bottom here, and there is a little hole on the chassis that you could run it through and plug it right into the receiver. Also forgot to mention, this has a nice foam bumper up front. This body's going to take some abuse, so it's nice to have that protection there in case you hit something head on. It's not going to have the body flex around too much, and it'll save your front end. So these LEDs are super cool. Let's take a look at them. So there is a power on button, and you can see I've ripped my LEDs off, a few of them, scraping this thing on the ground, but there are red, green, blue LEDs all on this strip, and you can put them anywhere on the body, which is really nice. And there is also an on-off switch just for the LEDs, so if you want to run it without the LEDs on, you can just press this light button here and it'll turn them off and save your battery, so that's really cool. So moving on to my final set of cars for my Black Friday sales, this is the WLToys 284131. This is a 1/28 scale little mini basher, I guess you could call it, drift car. So this car came to us from Maker Fire, so big shout out to Maker Fire for this car. And they also sell the WLToys K989, which look very similar to this, and I'm going to show you some of the differences as we go over this car. So inside the box we have the car right away. We have our little USB charger here, as well as some extra gears, which is super awesome. These cars are super tiny, and sometimes gears strip, or you can change out the gears and make it faster or slower depending on how you want to run it. So it's really nice that they include that in the box. This thing looks absolutely awesome. 1/28 scale, super customizable. This body is super clean. It's got a nice little front diffuser here, rear diffuser, hard plastic on the back. It's got LED lights all over it. Also inside the box we have the remote underneath here. This is the WLToys remote of choice that we've been seeing in a ton of the WLToys cars recently. And one of the major differences between this new model 1/28 scale and the older models, the K989. So if you remember, if you've had one of these, this is the big remote that used to come with that thing. Big and bulky, but did the job. It was kind of nice. But it's nice that they've kind of found their new remote. They're super easy to use one-handed. So I really enjoy these remotes. You got your steering trim and throttle dual rate on the front there. This car looks exactly the same to the 989 from WLToys. So this body is fully lit up with lights front and rear. I'll show you that in a second, but we'll unplug this here and you can take that apart, and I'll put it next to one of these other 989s. So I have two versions of it. I have the Ford Focus rally car looking one here, as well as the Porsche GT, which is really cool. And all these bodies should be interchangeable. You may need to change the height of the rear and front body posts, and the diffuser might get in the way with these different bodies, but they are interchangeable. So it's really nice to have that option. If you want to race them with other people, you can get a couple different bodies and you'll know which one's which. So getting a close-up of it compared to a 989, as you can see, they are almost identical. This one has drift tires on it. I will link down below where you can get these drift tires to put on the new WLToys one that we're going to run in the garage. I'm going to run it with the stock tires, and then we'll change it over to the drift tires. But you can see the layout is exactly the same, a lot of the same parts, and really nice ability to customize these. But it looks like they just changed the way they mounted the receiver, the ESC receiver combo. Motor and everything is exactly the same. So it's nice to see that they stuck with a tried and true formula and just upgraded it with some great body features and LEDs. On this other one that I have, you can see I have a ton of the upgrades. We have the shock mounts up front. We have the C-hubs front and rear. You can change out all of the linkages to aluminum if you really want to. There are also some oil-filled shocks in the front and rear. They don't really work too well just because they're so tiny and the tolerances are so tight. But I don't have any issue with the stock shock, so it's just something to note there. So without making this video too much longer, let's take these cars out into the garage. We'll use the drift cars in the garage, and then we'll take the big FC600 outside and give it a bash, even though it's raining. Alright, so we have some little 3D printed cones set up in our garage here. We got the 2188A from Haiboxing, and give this thing a little rip. So this is these are the stock tires on it. And as you can see here, it drifts just fine. Now this is four-wheel drive, so it's not really technically an actual drift car, I guess you could say, but it's definitely power sliding. Alright, so next we have the WLToys 284131. This is the 1/28 scale, and these things rip. This is the stock tires on it, stock battery, and this thing's super tiny. And I'm going to put on the drift tires in just a second, but I just wanted you guys to see how quick this thing is. And it really picks up once those tire gains rip. This thing's got a lot of pep for a little car. Stock gearing. Flat out, you can hear it. Getting a couple of these all racing together would be a lot of fun. These things are an absolute blast. course, because of their size, they're not great for really bumpy surfaces, but anything smooth, this thing is going to be a dream. You can trim it up on the steering wheel. Well, you don't have to drift it, as you can see here. You can just kind of half throttle it, give it some gas, brake, run it like a little on-road course car. But of course, the drifting is the most fun. So this thing looks super awesome with the drift tires on it. Let's give it a run and see how it compares to the stock off-road tires. All right, so right off the bat, this thing's definitely got more driftability now. It's like it's on an ice rink, but if you're looking for a little drift car, this is an awesome upgrade for it. These tires make it drift really nice. 4-wheel drive, under 80 bucks. This thing is awesome. You can check out all the different body styles that it comes with. So we got our third and final car out here, the FC600 stock 2S battery. We got our Insta360 Go2 on the car as well as on my hat. If you guys want to see a full review of this car, speed runs 3S battery, let me know in the comments down below. I will definitely do that. So let's give this thing a rip and see how it does. Ooh, all right. Those oil-filled shocks, really good. Little nose heavy, gotta give it some throttle. Definitely quick on the 2S. Ooh, these are some dirt tires, not really made for asphalt. Flies true in the air. Nice. Let's see if we can get some slow-mo here in the dirt. Ooh. So this thing sounds great. You can hear those. Ooh. Not a great sound for this cold, hard day. Look at that. I already knew it as soon as it hit the ground. The plastic on the body breaks. So you can definitely use some shoe goo and stuff like that to strengthen up the bodies, but whatever. We knew it was going to happen. This thing is really nice. For 80 bucks, you're getting the oil-filled shocks. You're getting the brushless system. 16th scale, it is tiny, but handles the grass fine. We'll do a full pull here on the 2S battery. A little squirrely. Man, it sounds like it's going a lot faster than it is, but you could definitely upgrade it with the 3S. Look at it handling the grass. So depending on what you guys are looking for, I think this might be the best option. If you're looking for a drift car, check out the other two. Here's my neighbors. They probably think I'm crazy. So let me know down below which one is your favorite out of the three, and if you're going to be picking up any of these cars or any other cars from Maker Faire, Banggood, Amazon. Let me know down below. I want to hear your top picks for Black Friday. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we will see you in the next one.